Please be advised that everything in my video is purely for entertainment purposes. These are purely my thoughts and opinions and are subjective. I must advise you to please do your own research. All media users found on the public domain and are fair use and fair dealings. Hey guys, how's everyone doing? So I'm back and from outer space, and I've got a bit of a mission. I have decided, I've been very busy, but I won't bore you with the details, but I'm going to do 3 videos in 3 days. I've set myself a challenge, so I'm going to do this video and then I'm doing another video and another video. So in the next 3 days, maybe stretch to 4 days, you get 3 videos because there's so many things that are going on. Obviously, the title of this video, this one was random. This threw out my programming that I had planned for you guys because this is so big and I want to talk about it today. But before I get on to that, it was yesterday, as those of you that like knowing about my personal life, it was my anniversary, my 5 years of our first date. Normally we don't celebrate it or anything, but it was just because it was 5 years and we still didn't celebrate it because, as it turned out, he's got a rotten cold and he was at work, and well, I had something typical that would happen to me, didn't it? My car broke down. Literally went for a dog walk, car stopped working. Now I have to give RAC their dues here, absolutely outstanding. I called the RAC, who I get through my bank account with Barclays, and you know what? They were there in 6 minutes, literally, and yeah, just absolutely phenomenal. He managed to change my battery because it was dead as a dodo, and they did it then and there on the spot. Otherwise I would have had to have it towed to a garage, and then obviously, you know, probably a battery get ordered. But yeah, so that was our anniversary. And then just to make our anniversary extra special, I had to ring my husband as I was on a dog walk and I didn't have my purse on me, so he'd already changed the battery. And I was like, can you pay the RAC man for my new battery, please? Thank you, love you. So yeah, that was a great anniversary present for him, wasn't it? We didn't even go out, but he still had to get his credit card out. Oopsie. We are still going to celebrate our anniversary though, because we are going to a lovely place where we had our 3rd date, and it was where we actually had our first kiss. Yes, on date number 3. Old fashioned, I know. But yeah, so we're going there. We're going to go to the pubs and where we went, and to the restaurant where we had our first date. And I actually fell over in the restaurant on our, well, it was our first official date. Yeah, you know, boots that you've got the lace up, the hooks. Well, I had my legs crossed under the table and I managed to get one lace locked around the other boot. So as I went to stand up, I interlocked, and disaster. I didn't smash into the table, but I did hit the floor. So my husband knew at that point I was a keeper. So that's enough about my life. Let's get on to this. This is whopping. This is big. There's a comical aspect to it, but there's also very serious side to what Meghan's done now. Something simple as trying to appeal to politicians to bring in something that will benefit, American citizens and stuff. Fine. But it's how she's done it, the way she's done it, and what wording she's used. Meghan has written a letter, an open letter, naturally it's been released to the media, to Congress to discuss parental leave and sick leave. It's slightly different in America to what we get in the UK, but it also depends in the UK. It's all down to company policy. It depends where you get your job. This letter has made its way into the public domain and been written and announced a day after a bunch of US senators actually wrote directly to the President of the United States. Meghan has released her own letter to President Biden, jumping on that little bandwagon. And it's obviously, like I said, all to do with maternity and sick pay. Now, actually, I read this today, and this has got nothing to do with US politics, so anyone, please don't come at me. I'm not either way. I don't even like our own politicians, let alone your country. But I did read that President Biden has already been pushing through this bill since April. It was announced that they were going to put, I think it was like 163 billion into giving people, US citizens, more benefits to do with obviously sick pay and parental leave, maternity pay. But Meghan did, however, make it very clear that she was not writing to them as an elected official or unelected. And she was also not writing to them as a politician, just in case anyone wasn't aware. But she was writing to them as a US citizen, a parent, and a mum, just in case anyone got confused or was unsure about Meghan's status in this world. But if that is the case, then she should have chose her writing paper a little bit better. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex. So you've got a problem now. You have now got a member of the British royal family trying to push and make demands and lobby, basically, US politicians. This is quite serious. It's one thing if she'd have written as Meghan Markle or whatever she wants to call it, Meghan Wales, whatever. But she's also put Harry in there, you know, the Duke of Sussex as well. This is not okay. This is constitutionally not okay for either country. People are pretty angry, and Peter Allen on Twitter points out that this is the first time an English title has been used to lobby politicians since 1776. Pretty huge, pretty bad. You might want to rethink and change the paper, love, but it's too late. It's out there now. So that's the serious side of the video out of the way, because it's, you know, it's a little bit damaging to the UK monarchy if they do not say anything or do anything, because this is quite clearly getting involved a lot deeper using those titles. As I said, she could have just written as Meghan Markle, but she hasn't. Is this them trying to push the buttons because they've not had enough attention lately and they want the Queen and UK Parliament to strip them of their titles because it gives them something to moan about again? Get them back on Oprah's couch, who knows? But in the actual letter, in the 1,030 word letter that she wrote to them, she literally mentioned me, myself and I roughly 14 times, which is quite in contrast to the letter that was sent by the actual senators. It was written in her usual storytelling way, because she knew that it was going to be made public, so it's kind of like setting the stage. And what she's done is she's tried to rewrite her own history again. Because, I mean, someone that is, she's a multi-millionaire through marriage. She's married into the UK royal family. She's got all of Harry's, you know, they're a couple. What's his is hers and what's hers is no doubt hers. But she has got a lot of money. They're living in this whopping great big mansion. They haven't done anything to earn that sort of lifestyle that they are living. They have had millions thrown at them from all of these big companies and people signing them up for all these little silly jobs, impact officers and whatever else that they have grasped and grabbed at. So I'm sorry, but they are not a normal person that has struggles and bills and mortgages and various other things that affect us. But what Meghan tries to do is she tries to bring herself down in the way that she knows to make her seem like one of us. Or in this case, one of the US citizens. Sorry guys, no returns, faulty goods. So how has Meghan managed to bring herself down to trying to pretend that she had a normal upbringing? I grew up on the $4.99 salad bar at Sizzler, she claims. It may have cost less back then, but I do remember how hard my parents had to work to afford this. And even eating at only $5, eating out was something very special. Okay, love, right, let's just take a sip. Let's just go back a bit. The dad, an award-winning lighting director, okay? Firstly, so he wasn't exactly on poverty street. You know, Meghan's upbringing wasn't quite as orphan Annie as she's trying to make out here. And she's made a massive blooper here because, well, she makes them all the time, but she wrote in her TIG, her actual own blog, her own words, or vlog, whatever you call it. But she wrote that her dad used to take her to Musso and Frank's Grill after every tap and ballet class. Like, this place is very expensive. It's not quite on the same level as Sizzlers. I mean, a prawn cocktail or a shrimp cocktail, as you guys call it in the States, $18. I think it was something like $11 for some lettuce wedges. Yeah, you know, wedges of lettuce, literally. It still doesn't quite have the same vibes as, you know, that she was very, very privileged to have a $4.99 salad at Sizzlers. Now, obviously this has gone up because people are laughing about this as well. You've got a few memes of Meghan actually enjoying sizzling herself because she did that really cheesy, very, very bad burger ad that she's tried to have taken down, but she hasn't. But Meghan's kind of made it worse here because she's doubled down on it, as she always does. And she goes on to talk about how when she was just 13, she worked at the local frozen yogurt shop just to make ends meet. Okay, 13 years old is actually illegal to work at. I have checked this out and I had Americans on Twitter tell me so. 13 years old is illegal. Now, I did see a tweet as well where someone actually said that the yogurt shop has actually spoken out, apparently. I haven't seen this is on hearsay, and said that she never worked for them. So another whoop. Continuing on with Meghan's heartfelt childhood story, I waited tables, I babysat, I piecemealed jobs together to cover odds and ends. It was about making ends meet and having enough to pay my rent and put gas in my car. Hang on a minute. Meghan's own words here again. It's out there, Meghan. It's on the internet. You can't backtrack from this. Her dad won the lottery when she was 9 years old. Her dad sent her to the best stage schools in LA. Meghan grew up spending her evenings actually watching live shows being filmed. You know, there's lots of photographs. And Meghan had a super privileged childhood from the age of 9, from the moment her dad won that lottery. She was treated to trips around the world, to Europe, outside Buckingham Palace, Paris. She was, horse riding trips, tap and ballet classes for a start, because that's the average child's upbringing. No, it's not, Meghan. Come back down to earth, love. She's also written before and said about it, I couldn't find the segment that I wanted on the TIG blog, but it's out there, where she said that her dad used to ferry her around between acting jobs. I don't think her dad would let her run out of gas in her car. And then, of course, we've got the video, which anyone can look at on YouTube, with her in her car, which was no doubt paid for by someone else, where she actually is bragging, going down Rodeo Drive, talking about all the shops she loves to go into, all of the designer stores, but then also her license plate. Classy girl. And she says that it was bought for her by her ex-boyfriend. Classy girl, yeah! That does make me cringe. I'm not a massive fan of personalised licence plates, but can you drive around with classy girl on your car? It's like the total polar opposite of classy girl. But the point is, we've got video footage, we've got her own TIG blog, her own words, her own writing. And why is she now saying this stuff? It's like, what, recollections may vary. It's out there. It's you actually telling the world. And now you're completely changing how your childhood was. 13 years old, forced to work in a frozen yoghurt shop to make ends meet. Don't make me laugh. Now, there's absolutely nothing wrong with Meghan campaigning for parental leave and sick leave. It's different rules in the USA to the UK, but I do feel sorry for the smaller businesses. Basically, if they push through, and I'm sure it's the same in America, if they push through that you have to give your employee sick pay, you've got certain employees that take that as extra holiday. Guaranteed to have 2 weeks sick pay extra a year is enough to make and break a company. You've got multi-millionaires that have never worked a day in their life, in the exception of Meghan, who obviously did work, but she's had a lot of stuff given to her on a plate, which she's never once been grateful for to anyone. And then Harry, but lobbying for this is how US firms have got to treat their staff. Oh, you are playing a dangerous game there. And as I said earlier in the video, Biden pushes through. This bill has been floating around since April. It was announced, and it's just like she's jumping on the bandwagon, and I think I know why. If you remember, if you weren't aware, that when Meghan was a teenager, she wrote a letter to Procter & Gamble, ironically, who they now have a contract with through Archwell, to do with a sexist washing up advert, to do with a woman was doing the washing up and Meghan was being, at the time raised by her dad and blah, blah, blah. She spoke about it on her UN speech. Right, it was a class project. It was a class project that they all worked on. Yes, okay, Meghan was the one that appeared on TV talking about it. But do you think that's probably more to do with the fact that she was the one that's been brought up on the stage? Her daddy's a lighting director. She was into acting schools. And she was probably the most tenacious and was like, I'll do it. And all the other kids are like, okay, let her do it. Just let her do it. It's safer for us if she does it. Ever since she's been talking about that she's championed for women's rights and stuff and sexism and putting the world to rights, she showed it on the Sussex Royal Instagram account, and she spoke about, as I said, it's been brought up so many times, but it was a class project. Now, as it happens, that advert was changed, but was it Meghans Letter that did that, or were there several complaints that were already in place that was probably going to happen anyway? So I think this is what's going to happen here. Even though Biden's been pushing it through, you've got senators been pushing it through, this has been a massive discussion. When this bill now gets pushed through, Meghan's going to be like, it was because of me. It was my letter that did it. I'm the one that's helped the US citizens. We all know it's going to happen. We can see it coming. What do you actually really think about the constitutional issue here with her using her titles on that letter? Personally, she could have just done it and it would have gone down a lot better if she hadn't done it as the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. That is then throwing in those English royal titles. And I'm sorry, this is a step too far. Something has got to be said. Something's got to be done, because this is pretty dangerous ground I think they're getting on. So guys, as always, tell me what you think. Do you think that she's gone too far with the Duke and Duchess? Do you think the royal family are in on it? Are they actually going to do anything to ever stop them? Is she literally going to be running to try and be a senator herself and still calling herself the Duchess of Sussex? What does it take for those titles to actually be called into question, even by our own government now? Because this is not okay. So just repeating myself, which I tend to do a lot, I think it's my age, I will be back very, very soon. I've kind of like, these 3 videos, 3 days. I like the pressure. I think it makes me work that little bit quicker. Anyway, my mum's here, so I'm off to watch some more Bridgerton. See you guys later. Bye.
If you like my video, please remember to like and subscribe. Please, angry typists, you will be blocked, so save your fingers the time. If you would like to buy me a coffee, please go to my About page and click the link. Love, Taz.